What you and I are both looking at right here in reference to this bar chart, and obviously one of these three is not like the other, is basically the results when individuals participated in resistance exercise training. Now, what we have here is basically a reflection of their choline intake. And obviously the low group did not fare too well. The medium and high group, not statistically significant between each other, but the contrast between medium and high and low is just astounding. Now, the interesting part about this is choline is a nutrient people don't often think about. Yet 40% of our older population fit into that group. In fact, chances are if you have to ask yourself what group you're in, chances are pretty good you're going to be in the low group. Now, in order to achieve that medium to high level, all that we're actually consuming is additional 1 to 3 egg yolks per day. Now, this is a real interesting study because it really emphasizes the importance of choline. Now, interesting aspect too, let's take a look at the age groups. Now, there's not necessarily statistical significance between each age group, but I did want to point out, even though the variable was taken into account, the age of the low group was actually younger than the ages of the medium and high choline intake group. It was taken into account and be basically balanced out in regard to the outcome of the study, but still, it was just interesting to look at just the same. But without further ado, let's get right into the research itself, and it's going to give you probably a great appreciation for choline, at least in regard to training in basically your mission or outcome, if it is to gain strength. Plus other factors too, as far as not being able to identify outward deficiencies right off the bat. But let us begin. All right, so here we go. The effect of choline and resistance training on strength and lean muscle mass in older adults. All right, now keep in mind the abbreviations there: ACH, acetylcholine, AI, adequate intake, and RET, resistance exercise training. All right, and if you notice, it's a 12-week resistance exercise training during the study course of the study itself. But to proceed, do the introduction. Therefore, the majority of required choline must be acquired from diet because you don't produce it on your own, and a choline deficient diet has been associated with negative health conditions, including liver, muscle damage, organ dysfunction, arteriosclerosis, birth defects, and neurological disorders. Again, associated. All right, keep that in mind. Insufficient choline intake can negatively affect exercises because choline is a precursor to acetylcholine, which mediates muscle contraction and force generation. Choline may influence exercise performance through its role in maintaining cell membrane integrity. Insufficient choline may contribute to a weakened cell membrane, negatively affecting skeletal muscles. Here we go. The ability to withstand the mechanical stress of exercise. Choline may also affect muscle response to exercise via betaine, which is important for gene expression and protein synthesis. All right, again, to look at the methodology, right there off the bat, 12 weeks of resistance exercise training, remember RET, in older males and females in a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled design. So wonderfully, wonderfully conducted study. But to proceed, materials and methods. The eligible participants were randomly assigned to 1 of 3 choline groups in a double-blind manner. 0. They used egg yolks. They didn't use it as a supplementation. So we're looking at something very, very immediately available through diet. To proceed, 0 egg yolk, 1 additional egg yolk, medium, which basically is, which is the 1 additional egg yolk, is the medium choline intake that we would. Let's bring that up once again so you can see basically the chart between the low, medium, and high. The medium, as far as the exercise group, that was just 1 egg yolk. And then 3 additional egg yolks per day was the high group. And again, the contrast between 1 egg yolk and no egg yolk, all right, low choline intake of 6.2 plus or minus 1.2 milligrams a kilogram of lean muscle mass. This gives you the idea. The medium choline intake of 8.1 plus or minus 1.6, and the high choline intake of 14.2 plus or minus 3. Again, at least in reference to strength gain and the outcome without interjecting publisher bias, there was not much difference between the 1 and 3. But that's not to elucidate the benefit if you don't get it at all through diet. Discussion. Choline may affect muscle responses to random resistance exercise training through many potential mechanisms. Since choline is a precursor to a neurotransmitter, acetylcholine, which relates the signal from the motor neurons to skeletal muscle contract and generate force, to reiterate, in which synthesis is reported to be affected by the availability of choline. Insufficient choline may limit the availability of acetylcholine in the neuromuscular junction and in turn muscle contraction and force generation. And since you already get the picture, we're going to go straight to the conclusion. It's going to make this quite a short video, but still just the same. The importance is definitely elucidated. To proceed, the consistency of this effect is about 50% of adequate intake is particularly significant because as much as 40% of the older population is consuming low level of choline where there are no, ready for this, here it goes, no overt clinical signs of deficiency, and considering the potential effects of choline on the devastating effects of age-associated loss of muscle function. So what that means is basically, even with the medical professional, without any overt signs of clinical deficiency, and you may be having problems with strength or strength gains in regard to training regimen, it may not be a bad idea, if possible, to have those choline levels tested or incorporate choline through the dietary means and with the help of a medical professional, potentially supplementation. And again, your road, your outcome. But still just the same, it is really, really cool in regard to these researchers taking something which is often seen as fairly innocuous and to many people superfluous in basically elucidating the general importance of this very, very, very vital and sometimes I should say stealth nutrient, at least when it comes to gains in strength. And you saw what happened. The detrimental effect was also associated, liver, muscle, and so on and so forth, prior in our review. So it's still just the same. Respect to choline. Again, gratitude to the researchers. I am humble you watch, and I look forward to seeing what you and I share next week. Catch you all next time. See you then. Bye.